Welcome back, travelers, to your Referral Roadmap. This podcast is dedicated to helping you unleash your personal and business revenue potential by cultivating referral relationships. In this 10-part series, we're diving into the dynamic realm of prospecting. We'll be exploring how prospecting in business can be a key driver of success, offering insights and strategies to master this essential skill to build your own referral-based business. So today we're talking about Inbox Gold, crafting irresistible email outreach for sales success. And for those travelers who haven't been on the journey with us this far, I do want to redefine what prospecting is. So, prospecting is the behaviors or activities you execute that create referrals and or leads resulting in revenue for you and your company, also known as making it rain, as Athena likes to say. Love it. Athena, do you have a story to share with us today?
I do actually have two about the emails because I think it's interesting. And you might be like, how is emailing prospecting? Well, you don't know who, right? You don't know who you're talking to, and you can't convert a client into, a prospect into a client without communication. And one of the stories I want to bring up is the power of my mentor, Darren Hardy's emails. Now, I got to tell you, they send you a lot of emails, but the emails that we get are very concise, and they have a lot of written, but it's in a column, and it's very precise so that your brain gets to the main points very quickly. They have video in each one of them. They have written in each one of them, and they have call to actions in all of them, and they have links for you to stay connected. Now, that is an email that is not just about delivering information. That's an email about engagement. And that's what I really wanted you guys to hear about that. Not that we have to draft our emails exactly like he does, but they're written. I know his team, and I know him well enough to know nothing comes out from his team without a very concise, purposeful, intentional outcome. And so I want you to think about that as we talk through today, that's what he's doing. And his success speaks for itself. But I also want to tell you a funny story about emails. Years ago, if you guys have not heard about disc theory, now it's just one of many ways to analyze human behavior. I like it because it's super simple. And I like simple. And DISC basically says, if you're a D, you're very direct, dominant. If you're an I, you're like Tigger, I like to say, life of the party. And if you're an S, you're very loyal and dependable. And if you're a C, you're very analytical. So that's like the biggest overview, okay? I mean, super high level. But what is funny is this gentleman who is a financial planner, really wanted to talk to me about taking over my financial portfolio. And he kept sending me emails that he was a C, so this detail-oriented person. So these emails had all this detail, explaining all these reasons why, etc. And it was so much, by the way, I'm a huge D. So that was too much for me to read in an email. And I was disinterested, and I just was like, it's not even that I wasn't interested in talking to him. It was that he was overloading information. So I was like, compute out. Anyway, he kept sending them to me, but every week I'd see him and we were friendly. So he knew it. He was like, well, she's friendly to me, right? So he sat down with my business partner and said, I keep sending her these emails and she won't respond. And he said, but you're sending it to her in a communication style that doesn't fit. And he said, here's what you do. My business partner told him, and his name's Charles. He's a great financial planner. And he said, my business partner, Tim, told Charles, send Athena an email and say, I can't wait for us to connect. I put on our calendar this and this date for us to connect so I can learn more about your interest in your financial portfolio. Well, guess what? I got the email and I was like, oh, thank God. And then I said, no, that date won't work, but this date will. he got the appointment. So there's power in email if we do a couple of things, right? Intentional. Darren has all of these intentionalities and in focus in the email about engagement, and then understanding the person we're speaking to and drafting it to speak to them. By the way, side note, Charles ended up getting our entire family's financial portfolio. Best decision I've ever made, and my business partners, and my father's, and 3 of my coaching clients. So that one ability to communicate with me appropriately cascaded in, I won't even begin to understand how much money he's made off of that one thing. So that's the story. So intention, and make sure that it's in a style that fits the person you're talking to. So those are my stories. All right,
Those
but you know
great.
me, I like to get all emotional, Jada. What are the facts and figures? Help us out here.
Oh, I definitely will, but I did want to chime in and I'm laughing because I am seeing myself so much in Charles right now. And because, I am very detail oriented. I mean, hence why I do the facts and figures. And I'm just laughing because whenever I first started working with you, I remember distinctly sending you multiple emails that had lots of detail. And Tim at one point had messaged me on the side. Tim is Athena's business partner for y'all who don't know, but he had messaged me and he was like, Jada, that is not the way to communicate with Athena. She's going to read the first line of your email and not continue. And so I'm just laughing because I see myself so much in that whenever we first started working together. And I mean, I've fallen victim to that even with clients and stuff. I want the details, so it's hard for me to remember that other people don't always want the details in the same way that I do. And so, anyways, that brings us to our next segment.
This is real life. That's what we're really talking about, audience. Yes. This is real life stuff. We didn't read this out of a book.
No, it just makes me giggle, though. But HubSpot does give us some really good research on marketing emails, segmenting emails, that sort of thing. So I do want to read a couple of statistics for those that are like me and really want those statistics. And I did want to describe, before I go into reading these, they talk about segmented versus unsegmented emails. And so if you don't know what that is, a segmented email is where you know your target audience and you are sending different emails based on who those target audiences are or what their disc style is, what their communication style is, that sort of thing. So when I say segmented or unsegmented, that's what I'm talking about. Unsegmented is you just send out the same email to every person that you're sending an email to. Maybe that's your entire database. Maybe that's everyone on a newsletter, whatever that looks like. So segmented is going to be those people that you are specifically trying to speak to them in the way that they receive communication well.
Or they're interested, right?
Or they're
That's
interested.
Where you don't try to sell an orange to somebody who wants a lemon.
Yes, exactly. Or I mean, I get this too sometimes where I'm signed up for a subscription and I'll get emails and it's like, sign back up for your subscription. I'm like, I am signed up though. Do you not know that? Like I am a client of yours. So anyways, just things like that. But HubSpot.
Important fact. That was an important fact.
It is, yes. And HubSpot says segmented emails drive 30% more opens and 50% more click-throughs than an unsegmented email. The most effective strategies for email marketing campaigns are subscriber segmentation at 78%.
Wow.
Message personalization at 72%, and email automation campaigns at 71%. So emails with multimedia elements or formats with images and or videos have the highest performance. So Athena kind of gave some examples of how Darren Hardy's team does that earlier. And then I am looking at some graphs, so just wanted to touch on the high levels of these. I'll make sure to link these in the show notes as well so that whoever wants to can see them. Wanted to mention too, though, before I go into these are, it's general data based on different sizes of different companies, different types of companies. And so you can use this as a great baseline to start and a good starting point, but make sure that you're tracking your own marketing campaigns, your own emails. That way you're getting what really works for your ideal client. So say all that to preface, but
yeah, good point. Good point.
The best time of day to send marketing emails is, according to this HubSpot data, is between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. So kind of that morning between breakfast and lunch. And then how often to send marketing emails, they say the highest open rate would be about 2 to 3 times per day. To me, that seems like a lot, but to some, I think, again, it depends on what your company is, what your intention is with those emails. And then the best day to send marketing emails is Tuesday, and with Monday being the second on that. So I think as you get through the week, it starts to go down and down. So I think,
Saturday
beginning of the
and
week
Sunday,
is
not great days, right?
Not great days at all. But again, these are averages across different types of businesses, different sizes of businesses. So make sure to track your own business emails. I'll make sure to link this in the show notes below so you can dig into that a little bit more if you want. But Athena, where does the rubber meet the road on this?
Well, I'm happy to share like how we take this data and do something with it. Yeah. One of the things I want to say is, as I'm doing research for the courses I teach and my coaching clients, etc., email's not dead. Can I just say that? Email's not dead. It's really interesting that email is back on the rise. And also newsletters. I'm like, what? Yeah. I thought that's archaic, right? No. So there is a resurgence of it. Now, what's interesting is I just got to speak to a whole group of high-performing lenders, and I was telling them some data around emails. And they were like, somebody raised their hand and like, I hate emails. I'll never read my emails. And somebody else was like, I love emails. I think this is the point. The reason we wanted to make sure that you got in this prospecting series about emails is there is diversity in channels of how we prospect. And although the picking up the phone is important, social media is important, this is another avenue. And you do have people that want to only communicate, or they prefer to communicate by email. Don't overlook them because of our own prejudice. Much like don't communicate with a D in C manner, like we were just talking about, right? So if you want to talk to me by email, keep it short and sweet. Jada requires a little bit more detail. So it's not only understanding the person, but it's also as a salesperson, business owner, entrepreneurial person, don't just say, hey, email's dead, I'm not going to do it. Stop. Don't do that. Okay. When Jada and I count what a touch is for a client. So we say you have to touch a client 8 times, or a new lead 8 times before it goes to a true drip campaign. What we do is we touch them on all the mediums. So DM, message, email, and phone call. Okay. Text, phone call, DM, and email. How they respond is how they want to communicate. So that's why we've got to do all until they tell us. So you need to have a really good marketing campaign to do that drip campaign, which is a electronic, prescribed, automatic emails being sent to people. But also you need to know what you're doing when you're talking to them. So that's really, I wanted to explain the why a little bit more. Now I'm going to tell you the how. So that's the why. And now I'm going to tell you the how. So here's the rubber meets the road. And if you guys are listening and you know, please like and subscribe, save this one. You're going to want these points. These are going to be important. Don't try to do them all at once. Get good at one of them until you cascade them all. So Jade, I've already told you, but we need to segment and personalize. Divide your email list into segments based on demographics, purchase history, interest, etc. Right? You don't want to be that company who keeps sending, like what Jada talked about, where, hey, would you like to follow us, when she's following you? That doesn't make her feel like you know her. Think about that. Okay. I've had those too. And you don't want to sell oranges to people who want lemons, right? You want to make sure the people who want your oranges, you're talking about oranges. The people who want your lemons, you're talking about lemons. Of course, that's a grossly, simplified, but you get it, right?
Yeah.
We want to keep it simple. And then you want to personalize your emails for each segment. Okay? I want you to think about that. So personalization not only means person to person. Darren Hardy's done a really good job at teaching Jada and I that the emails have to be person to person. And we could get better at that. This is something that we are implementing and still working on, and be transparent. So if you get emails from us and you're like, they could work on that, tell us.
Tell us. Yes, please.
Tell us.
We love feedback.
Yeah. We, like you, are implementing these strategies to improve our impact and our conversion ratio. So personalizing the emails and making sure that you're talking to the people who want the lemons appropriately, and you're keeping it human to human. Another one, a compelling subject line. I know Jada and the team, we have worked with changing what the subject line is and looking at, depending on the subject line, what does it improve a open rate, right? So you want to think about that. So craft attention grabbing subject lines that entice people to open them up.
And on that too, Athena, if you don't mind me adding, we have this awesome tool that we were referred to, so I can't take all the credit because I did not find it myself, but it's called Subject Grader, and I can link that in the show notes as well, but you can plug in what you want your subject line to be, and it will grade it based on whether it's personalized enough, whether it is exciting enough or enticing enough. And then if it's not, it also gives you suggestions on how to change it to make it more of those things. And so anyways, I'll link that in the show notes as well, because that may be helpful for some of you all.
Love that. That's an awesome tool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
So that's important, right? Because you're going to craft these emails. You need them to open them, right? I know, Jada, you've worked quite a bit in the home building company and in the coaching company on working on that. Yeah. The other thing you have to have, and Darren, this is one of the great things that Darren's team does, is a clear call to action. Remember, the email isn't just about selling or being smart, right? We think we're educating the client just to be smart, and or even adding value. You guys know that's something of important to me. But you're educating, selling, and you're adding value. But in all of those, you still need a call to action. What is the intention? That is something I have done really poorly in my decades in sales. And so fortunately, I have Jada, and she's helping me work on that. So good call to actions. All right. So make them visible, make them easy, make sure that they go to your website or wherever you need them to go. Okay. The other thing is engaging content. Now, I'm going to say this. Your engaging content needs to also be driven by your segmentation. So the engaging content needs to be interesting to, and again, I'm going to use the analogy, selling oranges to oranges and lemons to lemon, people who want lemons. You're going to create your content around the people who want oranges. And the people who want lemons, the content needs to go to that. Or, this is a little bit higher level than my fruit example, but at different stages in the buying cycle. Okay, the customer's buying behavior and their emotion where they're at in the buying cycle. And this is one of the things Jada and I do with the companies that we work with and the people that we work with, is helping them identify that so that you can then create segmented content, impactful emails to those people through that buying cycle. So you're talking to them in real time. Now, that was a little bit higher level, but it's important. Hope you guys are thinking about that. And it has to be mobile optimized, right? If they can't read it on their mobile phone, we've got to make sure that that it, first of all, looks pretty on a mobile phone, that all the links work on the mobile phone. I don't have the statistics in front of me, so you would have to Google it, but Google how many people open their email on their phone. It will astound you, right? So
I was going to say, it depends on where you are sending out your marketing emails from too. You may be able to track that data for your own business as well. Because that's something I know on our side, we're able to see using HubSpot. And so that's something that we like to track is, how many people are opening this on their desktop versus their mobile device. And I don't know the statistics off the top of my head, but just like Athena's saying, it's astoundingly high of the amount of people that open it on their mobile device.
Yeah. So Jada, I promise you, we know somebody. My husband hardly ever is sitting in front of a computer.
Yeah.
But he's looking and right. So I bet you. And most of my friends in real estate, I would bet, are in the 90% for using their phone to do email.
Mm-hmm.
Where I sit in front of a computer.
Yeah.
Right. So it needs to be optimized for, and Jada's 100% right. You need to track it, find out for your people where they're sitting and make sure that it works. The other thing too is testing and optimizing. This is one of the things that, it takes work. Okay. This is where you can talk about the rubber meets the road. This is the work, because you will listen to what we're saying. And you will apply it because that's the kind of people you are. And then you're going to go out and you're going to find out that people aren't opening it. And then you're going to get frustrated. We have clients that have. What it means is you've got to try different elements, change one little piece. Don't just throw out the whole thing. Change little pieces of what you've already created. And here's the thing, don't get emotionally attached to what your creation, okay? Remember, your creation isn't your art project that you're proud of. Your creation is something that's supposed to create conversion. And so what you're doing is you want to look at it and tweak little things and tweak one little thing at a time to see if that one little thing is that thing that's going to actually get you the result and the intention. So really important there. I will just tell you, I think that's the hardest part. All the other parts are a little bit creative, more fun, relationship driven. I like that part. This analytic part, not my jam, but critical. So I just wanted to leave with that. And if you are a business owner and you're like, Athena, I don't like the analytics, then I'm going to tell you, hire somebody that does. It's that important. Even if you're like, but I don't have the payroll, hire them for 1 day a week if you have to. Whatever you do, get somebody on your team that does the thing that you're not great at, even if you have to start small. Best decision I ever made was making sure that I brought somebody analytical to my business, and who was the first hire. Best decision I ever made. But Jada, where do we go from here?
Yeah, we would love to invite our travelers to join the Success Revolution. It's fueled by relationships, referral, and revenue. It's our weekly blog where you will get growth strategies to take control of your sales, your revenue, and achieve your full potential straight to your inbox. The link to subscribe to that weekly blog will be in the show notes below. And don't forget to like and subscribe below as well, so you can join us next week as Athena brings real talk and real strategies on social selling secrets, how to convert connections into clients with our special guest, Danielle Stoltz. We can't wait to see you then. Bye.